Hello and welcome. So I wanted to do a little video. Hopefully it's quick, although the last time I shot like 2 videos I said hopefully they'll be quick. They turned out to be like 15 minutes long. But in this one I just want to give my opinion on the whole Cassandra Clare situation, because apparently it is in fact a situation. So I first heard, I don't like follow Cassandra Clare that much. I used to a lot when I was a few years ago when I first started reading the Mortal Instruments, but honestly I just have too many things to do. That's not a priority for me right now. So it's things like BookTube that tell me when things are happening, which is fine by me. I don't mind being behind on the news and stuff. But I do know that a week or two ago, maybe it was longer, I don't really remember. I will link it below though. Tasha from Tasha did a video, I think it was called In Defense of Cassandra Clare, I think. Kind of addressing some of the same things I want to address. But since then, it looks like Cassandra Clare has announced another series, I believe. And I heard about this on Book Hype, which is a book podcast. It mainly focuses on YA, and it's connected to the website Hypeable. And in general, I really like that podcast, but some of the things that were said on it when they addressed the announcement of this new series kind of rubbed me the wrong way and made me want to film this video. So basically at this point, I don't know the names of all of them, so sorry. But Cassandra Clare has announced, as far as I know, 3 new series in the Shadowhunter world. We know now is that, as far as I know, is there's going to be a sequel trilogy to The Infernal Devices following the children of the characters from those books. For a while now, like years, I feel like we've known that or at least a year, we've known that there's going to be a series following the Mortal Instruments, and that's The Dark Artifices. That's the only one I know the name of. And that's going to follow, I believe her name is Emma Carstairs. Hold on, because I had, family tree that ruined Clockwork Princess for me can now come in handy. Yes, Emma Carstairs. So it's going to follow her, and it's supposed to be like a noir type book, or series, I guess, which I think sounds kind of interesting, and it takes place in LA. And so apparently going to be another series which, from my understanding, follows the same characters as the TMI series, which at this point nobody knows who that is really, because I believe what I read is there's a poem or something in City of Heavenly Fire that's going to inform the events in those books. And also, if I'm right, I believe 6 people are going to bite it in City of Heavenly Fire. So obviously those people probably wouldn't be showing up. I don't know, unless ghosts are going to make an appearance. So we don't know exactly who's going to take place in those books. And I don't really know if those are going to take place after the events of The Dark Artifices or right after the Mortal Instruments. I'm assuming after The Dark Artifices. I'm assuming there's going to be integration there. So after I rambled on and on about nonsense that I don't really know that much about because I haven't done a lot of research, let's get to the meat of this video. So basically what's been going on is there's been comments and concerns about the fact that there will now be 5/6 series, depending on how you view the Mortal Instruments, in the Shadowhunter world announced, plus the Bane Chronicles. Is this too much? Is this just a money grab? All of that nonsense. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's a money grab. Maybe it is. I'm not Cassandra Clare. I don't know her. I have never met her. I have never had a conversation with her. And I do not live in her brain. I wish I did, but I do not. So I cannot, and neither can anyone else, say what she means to do, if this is all for money or not. Honestly, even if it is a money situation, it's not in a completely unethical, graspy kind of way. In my opinion, there's easier ways to get money than writing 3 new trilogies. And do you know how long it takes to write a book? Do you know how hard it is to write a book? It's not like she's churning these things out like every 2 weeks. So this is a lot of time and a lot of effort. But even if that is what it is, the fact of the matter is that I love the Shadowhunter world. I will continue to read books set in this world until something happens in them that I don't like, until there's something wrong with the writing style that just doesn't appeal to me anymore. But as of right now, with what we've had published, I'm enjoying myself personally. I love Cassandra Clare's writing, I love the characters she creates, and I think she's proven that she can tell different stories. I think going into the Infernal Devices, if you had already read the Mortal Instruments, you're reading it and you're like, so there's this girl and she doesn't know about Shadowhunters, and then she gets pulled into the world by this beautiful guy who happens to be a Herondale, which if you read the Mortal Instruments, you're like, oh, here we go again. Then there's another guy who's close to that guy, and then there's this weird love triangle, and then there's other people living at the Institute. There's another girl that's a Shadowhunter. The Lightwoods show up. All of Magnus Bane is there. All of these things. And you think, oh, this is going to be the same exact story. But it's not. Cassandra Clare takes basically the framework, and in my opinion, probably did it on purpose, and created a completely different story that went a completely different way, that made you feel differently about these characters. Do Will Herondale and Jace have similar characteristics? Absolutely. That happens. That doesn't mean that there's a lack of skill or effort on her part to create characters. She also crafted this beautiful story that interconnects and alludes to things that occur in the Mortal Instruments. And things that, because I read the first 3 Mortal Instruments, then I read Infernal Devices, then I'm now reading the second 3 Mortal Instruments books, so I'm currently reading City of Lost Souls for the Cassandra Clare readathon. Clareathon. Yes, Clareathon. So, and I also, leading up to this, had reread all of the first 3, and there's parts of it where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a reference to something that happens in the Infernal Devices. And if you think that's not going to keep happening, then you're crazy. She is so good at laying Easter eggs. So there's that. She has proven she can write different, unique stories in this world. Additionally, if you had spent so much time and effort creating this world, why wouldn't you want to spend time in it? And I'm also reading the Shadowhunters Codex right now, which normally isn't the kind of book I would buy. That feels like a money grab to me on a publishing company standpoint. But whether it was them or her, they've done an amazing job with it. They've written this book that literally does give you more information, can help inform your understanding of these books and this world so you understand things more, because it's literally given to you in specific ways instead of being peppered into a fictional story. But you have the added benefit of having these interactions between Clary and Jace and Simon, and them commenting on what's going on and kind of having conversations with each other, and you feel like you're getting to know them even more. And the fact that the effort and time was put into something like that, and you still get those characters in something like that, just shows how amazing of a writer she is. My last thing is, how many books take place in the same world and nobody complains about it? So, first, contemporary books. Literally, contemporary books take place in our world. So, if you're going to complain about Cassandra Clare spending time in her world, then you should complain about Sarah Dessen. Why does Sarah Dessen just write books they're the same story? It's about a girl and it's contemporary and there's a love story and she usually has family issues. Oh no, that's bad. She should write something different. She should challenge herself. But I don't hear people saying that. I don't hear people saying that about any contemporary authors. And I don't feel that way. Sarah Dessen is perfectly fine. She can keep doing what she's doing. I have no issues with it. I'm just saying, how is that situation any different? Another example is these books by Terry Goodkind. So this is the second book in the Sword of Truth series, which has 12 or 13 books in it, and I do believe he's writing another series now, but he literally spent years. I believe this book was published in 1995. Yeah, 1995, and the last book only came out a few years ago. So I suppose he should stop writing in this series, and he should have stopped writing earlier, right? Because that's just too much. These books are huge. I suppose J.R.R. Tolkien should have stopped writing in the Lord of the Rings mythos as well, because pretty much everything he wrote that wasn't scholarly takes place in that world. So, because it's not just the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, you guys. There are other things too. But I suppose he should have stopped. He shouldn't have built such an elaborate and amazing and well thought out world with a strong mythology and history and story, and he shouldn't have written all of the backstory and continued to tell stories about different and changing characters in the world. And then I suppose people should stop asking for more Harry Potter books, because that's just too much. I mean, she wrote 7 whole books, plus the side books, like the Quidditch one and the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. People keep asking for an encyclopedia and maybe a book 8. That's probably a little too much too. She should probably just stick to her adult fiction now, because that's more challenging. That's ridiculous, right? But for some reason, people have an issue with Cassandra Clare continuing to write in this world, which are going to be different and unique stories. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a little apprehensive about a book that's a follow-up to The Mortal Instruments, because I kind of want City of Heavenly Fire to end these characters' stories, with the exception of Magnus Bane. I feel like Magnus should show up in everything she writes, because he is amazing and makes sense to show up in all of them. I want to show up occasionally, perhaps give a helping hand if I can see kids or something. That would definitely be cool, but I don't need a big elaborate story. Does that mean I'm not going to read it? Hell no. Does that mean I have an issue with it? Absolutely not. So yeah, this definitely was really long and rambly, I feel like. Did this even make sense? I don't know. And in a way, so just to sum up everything, I kind of understand where people are coming from, and I get why people might think it's a money situation or something like that. That's always going to be the case. I mean, publishers are out there to make money. They are going to do whatever they can to make money. And Cassandra Clare is a behemoth. She is a best-selling author. She is going to sell books. But I still believe she's invested in this world. I don't think she would write this if she didn't want to tell these stories. Additionally, she is writing another series with Holly Black, so it's not like she isn't doing other things. And if she has stories to tell, then I'm here to read it. And if you have an issue with it, then you need to stop buying the books and stop promoting the books. If you really have an issue and you think it's a money grab, going out there and saying things about it and making it controversial is only going to make it more popular. So you're kind of doing the opposite of what I assume you are trying to do. I'll keep reading. I am anxiously awaiting the release of City of Heavenly Fire, and I'm excited next year for the first book in the Dark Artifices to come out, because I'm curious to see what she's going to do with new and different characters. I'm definitely excited to be exposed to a whole new set of characters in a whole new place again, because I think Cassandra Clare does one hell of a job at building a world and telling a story. Thanks for watching. Bye!